What's up everybody, this is Derek, and I'm here to show you the latest build of the Wandering Abyss. Uh, Abyss is a game about being lost in space and trying to bring your crew home. You are a starship captain, kind of on the far side of the galaxy, and due to some terrible calamity, you've been forced to figure out how to bring your crew of 77 people to the other side of the galaxy with little or no resources to find. And one part of how you do that is manage research. You're given the option at the very beginning of the game to set your engineers on a specific research problem. So you can tell them to work on star drive efficiency, the range of your vessel, the rate at which you consume and extract water from various planets and food, or the engineer's whim, which is a sort of random option that gives you something that you might not anticipate or expect, but will probably be pretty useful. So at the moment, I'm choosing star drive efficiency. Now, you can see that the world of Abyss has changed since the last update video. You now have a galaxy to look at that's rather pretty. You also have these 4 blinking stars, which are a little bit of a preview of things to come. These are pulsar stars, and I don't want to say too much about them right now, except that they are part of how your crew finds which amongst all of these stars in the sky is the solar system and finds your way home. But more on that later. So at the moment we have 77 crew and 6 gauges here. Fuel, water, food, and morale are all full because we're at the very beginning of our journey. But we also have to worry about observation, which is a new feature, and star drive efficiency, which is just basically the research option that we just selected. So the point about Abyss is that you have to journey from star to star in order to find your way home. And in this case, you have to select which star you find the most interesting and best suits your needs. So the first star I chose was a light blue one, which is an observation star, where I set up a radio telescope in order to look out at the stars and figure out which one is the one I'm trying to get home to. You have to do science at each of these stars, so you will do science to them. But you also need to manage your fuel, water, food, and morale gauges. My gauges look pretty good, so I'm going to try another observation world. But you can see I've completed one observation and the gauge is a little bit fuller. But now I'd better get some fuel. And just to round things off, get some water. Now, the story of Abyss is kind of a subtle one. It's just, it pops up as you accomplish objectives. The captain is recording in their log things that happen as they enter systems, and he or she might talk about how the crew is doing, react to the amount of resources they have, and little details like that. Sometimes when you come to a world, and let's see if it's the case for this one, when you come to a star rather, you have the option to undertake a more dangerous mission in order to get more food matter. So I do have that option. We've come to the DIS system, and we've collected a little bit of food matter, but say our food matter is kind of low, down towards 5%. I can send the crew on this dangerous mission to extract more food matter, which could be potentially lucrative, but it could also end up being pretty dangerous. Right now, the crew's in a pretty good mood. They're toasting each other with glasses of clear water, but I'm going to click on the Do the Mission button. Oh, and I've succeeded. I've obtained 40 food matter, so that's a lot. And it means that now we have a practically full food gauge, which gives me more liberty to do observation, do science. The Caigos was a large brown dwarf star casting a dim light that barely illuminated even the innermost planets of the system. here. Every star that you can see in Abyss is something that you could travel to. There are more than 100,000, except for the ones in the skybox, obviously. But each individual point of light that you see moving as you are jumping throughout the galaxy is a potential world for you to visit. Right, I'm starting to get a little bit low on fuel, so potentially I'll find that. That's the list of places that you've jumped to. I'll do another observation star, but fuel is getting pretty darn low. Yeah, and the captain just remarked, I'm on the lookout for a fuel world. Gotta look all around. Never know what you might find. Alright, I'll grab water. Doris has not been kind to us. There's also a calendar system, you might notice. So, we started the journey on January 31st, 2342. This is pretty bad here. All the other gauges are doing fine, but pretty soon we're just going to be dead in the water. And January 31st happens to be my birthday, but aside from that fact, it's the start date for your adventure, and you can see that we've already been in space for 2 months, and resources are starting to get low. Fuel worlds are kind of hard to come by, and in fact, yep, okay, so we just ran out of fuel, which means that we run on emergency power. Now, it's not such a bad thing. Good. We managed to hit a fuel world just now. But losing fuel doesn't impact your adventure too much, except in that it takes you longer and longer and longer to jump from star to star, and the more time you take, the more difficulty you will have in filling up your other survival gauges, like food and water. So we're doing pretty good for observation. In fact, I'm going to try, before this video is over, to get a complete observation gauge. And right now that isn't tied to anything yet, but observation is how you manage to track down pulsars, those stars that I showed you in the very beginning of this movie. So with this star, we should have an observation, and let's zoom in and look at our ship as we land. 1 stellar study complete. So yay us. Oh, by the way, there are planets. They spawn. And the gauge is complete. Rarsus is the world in which we placed our last telescope. We've done 17 jumps altogether and been at sea, or at space, for about 3 months. So not a bad first step in finding which of the many stars in this galaxy is Earth and getting home. So thanks for watching.